I think I'm live. Am I? I'm not sure. I'm going to find out here pretty quick, though. Folks, thank you for joining us for our live webinar today. Yes, this really is live. We're going to be introducing to you one of our successful business owners, what we refer to as licensees, because they've licensed our system to do medical billing for doctors. This is Tracie Clark. So anyway, she'll be on here in just a second. By the way, we've been doing these webinars now for the past, I don't know, gosh, 10 years maybe. Our company has been in business since 1994. So what is that, 27 years? Yes, not many companies out there. So if you're wondering if this is some kind of a scam or a trick or what I'm trying to sell you today, if you haven't ever been on one of these webinars, you'll know that we don't sell you anything. These webinars are for pure information for you to find out whether this business is something you want to sell your cell phone, being in this business. So anyway, we'll go into a little bit more detail as we go along. What do? We basically put people into business doing medical billing for doctors. Yeah, you'll be actually doing the billing using our cloud-based system that you see pictured here. It runs on any platform, any kind of operating system, Windows, Apple, Mac. It doesn't matter. You can actually literally use it on any tablet or iPhone or smartphone that's out there because it's all optimized for mobile use as well as, just regular computers. So you can find out more about that, of course, on our website there at the bottom of the screen. If you haven't gone there, you need to go there because we also have other services that our business owners, our licensees can offer to doctors, including some of them that you see illustrated here in this illustration. Because we, in addition to the iClaim and EMRX, which you see there in the bottom right-hand corner, that is the billing system and the electronic medical records system that you'll be using to do the billing for the doctors. We have these other services that you can read about. Okay, so who am I? I want to tell you a little bit about myself because, gosh, it's just good that you know that I'm a real person. So let me go back here first. My name is Patrick Phillips. As I said earlier, I'm the founder of the company. My son, Adam, is now the CEO of the company. It's a family-owned business. We've been doing this for 27 years, like I said. And my wife and I started doing medical billing here in the Fort Worth, Dallas area where we live many years ago. And folks, we started making good money. We bought a new house. We bought new cars. And our relatives and friends were asking us how we did it. So we just said, you know what, there's probably a market for teaching people how to do it. Well, back then, 1994, nobody was doing medical billing for doctors except us. And well, it was a few, but I mean, it wasn't that popular. So we learned what we were doing. We figured out how to engage with doctors. That's important if you want to sign them up as clients, right? And then it just grew from there. Now we have somewhere around 600 people from coast to coast that we helped get in the business. And we continue to support them with free demos and new marketing materials and ideas, things like these books that you see here. I'm an author. You can find these on Amazon. That one in the middle, for example, is called The New Thriving Medical Practice. I wrote that with Dr. Vicki Rackner, who you will be able to partner with. Yes, if you get involved in our business and become one of our licensees, you'll partner with Dr. Vicki Rackner and have your name on the front cover of a book with her as well. I'm also on the editorial board of Billing and Coding Advantage magazine, which is a print magazine that's got over 40,000 subscribers nationwide. It has been around for years and years, folks. This is the standard magazine information where a lot of people that are in the billing and coding get their information each month. So with all that said, let's get to our guest today, Tracie Clark. She's out there in North Carolina somewhere. Tracie, you still with us? There she is.
Hi, I'm here. Hi.
Hi, how you doing? I'm going to turn off the slides here for a second since we have you live here. And
Okay.
thank you for taking time out to do this, Tracie. I want to get people kind of up to speed on where you're at in this business, first of all, because you've got quite an operation going there. You showed me a little tour earlier of your office. Can you kind of turn your laptop there and show us a little bit about where you're at right now? You actually lease an office there, don't you?
Right now, we're right here in my office. And then I have 3 other offices located inside of this office. And this is just like our, where you come in at, and of course, there's 2 computers set up here. And then when the contractors come in and they want to work, we have an area set up in here so they can be able to sit here and work, have their own space and work here in the office. And then turn that light back off. So yeah, so we have a pretty nice space here. You know, here's another suite right here. I'll turn that light on for you. So nice office, nice office space. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. Yep.
You did it right. In fact, folks, she's gone so far beyond our business model. I love the fact that she's willing to do this interview with us here, even though she's gone and just built this thing huge. It's just incredible what you've done with this, Tracie. Thank you for sharing that with us. Yeah, so when you mentioned contractors earlier, let's just touch base on that for a second, because I tell people, look, you can run this business yourself forever if you wanted to. With a handful of clients, you could do the billing yourself, you know, and just make a pretty good living doing it, couldn't you?
Correct. Most definitely you could. Or you can have employees, or you can take the route that I've taken, which is contractors. It just depends on how much of a risk you want to take and what direction you want to send, you know, put your company in. So it just really depends on the owner, you as the ABS licensee.
Yeah, and obviously you wanted to take it to another level. I'm sure somewhere down the line you're thinking, okay, I'll get this point where this baby where it's bringing in $1 million a year, I'll sell it for $3 million, and then just open that McDonald's that I've always wanted to operate.
Exactly. I went in so many directions with my license. So because you guys offer so many products, I use my personal experience along with the products that you guys offer, which helped save me a lot of time on research on what's going on in the industry. You kind of log on to that private website that you guys have for us, and we can kind of get up to speed about everything that's going on in the revenue cycle management. So that's definitely a great benefit.
Yeah, you mentioned that website. I'll show that here in just a second. But basically, we have a private website for our licensees. You have to have a login for it, of course. And once you get in there, there's a ton of stuff in there. Lots of stuff. We've been doing that for
most definitely
probably the last well since about 2014. I think we had that up there. So there's articles and documents and videos and just a ton of information. You can spend hours and hours on that site alone.
Yeah, you can.
So folks, what we do basically is we sell a license to use our system. That's why we call the business owners licensees. Basically, they just licensed our whole system, the platform that we use for the billing, although they can use other platforms for billing as well if they run across a doctor who doesn't want to change to ours. Tracie, tell us some about your clients. Tell us kind of where your business is right now and what types of clients you have. I think that'd be interesting to people to learn a little bit about that.
Okay. So yeah, so we're still doing billing. We also do medical credentialing, and we also do medical consulting. So sometimes you go out there and you meet a potential client and they're not quite ready to outsource their billing over to you, but they need your expertise. They still want you to be a part of their team in some form or fashion. And so they want to bring you on as a consultant. And so bringing us on as a consultant, we still help them, you know, with some of those problems that they may be having within their business, whether it's billing, whether it's with their practice management system. It just be so many different issues that providers have on a daily basis. And so we may go in as a consultant. Well, that provider says, you know what, I like you as a consultant. I just think I just need to go ahead and outsource my billing over to you. Then we're there to be able to take over their billing. Sometimes we get hit, a lot of clients that I have just want to outsource the credentialing. And so they call us and say, hey, we need credentialing services. As you know, in order for a provider to be reimbursed by the insurance company, they have to be credentialed with that payer. And so they need someone to be able to do it. Credentialing can be very cumbersome and time consuming. So why not outsource it to the subject matter experts? They outsource it to us. A lot of times after we do such a great job on the credentialing, they then say, okay, you know what? I really just want you to go in and do the billing. And like you stated earlier, some clients don't want to change over their current billing platform. They just want you to do the work And so you can bring on a client that way, or maybe they don't like the software that they're using now and they want to use one of the softwares that we offer. We can, provide billing services that way. So there's so many different things that you can do with your ABS license in order to be, successful out here. That's just 3 services that I do. I think the last time I checked, it's about 12 products we're offering now.
I lose track myself. My son Adam has added like 2 or 3 here just in the last few months, so I can't keep up with it myself. But if we look at that picture that I showed earlier, yeah, it's about 10 or 12 different things that you can offer. Again, they're all optional. You don't have to, but you can make money on some of them, and they make a good door opener. Sometimes the doctor wants to talk to you about not their billing because they think they have that under control, or they have people internally that are doing it, or they've already outsourced it, but they will talk to you about other aspects of anything to do with their revenue that can increase their revenue or save them money. We've got it for them.
Exactly. I kind of set my business up to be like a one-stop solution, pretty much a one-stop. So if you need it, we offer it. And so being that one-stop solution allows us, it definitely expanded the market, and now we can just do business pretty much with anybody. So, and that's how you want to set it up.
Yeah, that's a good point. One-stop shop. In other words, if the doctor asks you, can you do this? Can you do that? You want to be able to say yes to all of that. And that's why we've partnered with a lot of other companies, technology companies and so forth, to offer some of those services through you, because, hey, it just gives you that many more, what I call harpoons in the whale. If you get enough harpoons in a whale, you can pull a whale in.
Correct.
And keep that whale from getting away.
Yep.
I threw this slide up here because my son ran across this the other day. I thought it's great for people who are looking at getting into the business. Wow, it says this revenue cycle management market was valued at US $120.7 billion last year, and that it's expected to grow. That's a compound annual growth projection there of 11.2% from this year through 2028. So for the next 7 years, they're projecting 11% growth every year. Tracie, I don't know many industries that have that kind of growth. Do you?
Me either. No.
So that's one of those things that I am just thrilled when people ask me, well, is this a good time to get into business? Because you've already told people you got into business, several years ago. What's it like right now? I'm sure that's going through people's minds. What about the COVID thing? And, how are doctors doing? Are they struggling? Do they really need our help?
COVID really opened a lot of providers' eyes open, where they realized that if they had an outsourced agency at the time when they started providing telemedicine, like how their work could have continued. So many people, they shut their practices down. They wasn't able to bring many people in. The practices that were open, that was treating COVID patients, they try to limit the amount of personnel they had in there. And because some of the billing systems that they're using was not a cloud-based system, it was a server-based system. A lot of them wasn't even able to submit claims to be reimbursed for those services. But if you had outsourced to an entity such as ours, we work from home. We can work from anywhere. As long as we got an internet, we have a computer device, we can submit claims on your behalf. And so a lot of providers seen the benefit of outsourcing, especially when COVID hit.
Yes, outsourcing, that's the key word here, isn't it? Doctors outsource a lot of things. They outsource their bookkeeping, their legal stuff, their window washing, their carpet cleaning. You outsource a lot of things in business. You just don't think about it that way. But why should a doctor deal with employees inside their own office and have to keep their software up to date, and all their patient data is residing there in their computer that could be stolen? There's just too many dangers in doing that nowadays that way. So more and more doctors are learning that outsourcing is really the answer.
Yep. And then providers was hit with, a lot of people started resigning because they seen that they can get more money on unemployment than they could working. And so here it is, their hands was kind of like forced, give me more money or I quit. here with us, our rate's going to stay the same. You know, we may have that annual uprise, but outside of that annual uprise, there is no other surprise expense that comes with doing business with us. You're not going to get that with an employee. You have an employee that's been with you 3 years and they figured out, I can go home and make more money on unemployment than working with you. So now you're going to give me more money or I'm going to go home. And so that was another thing providers were faced with. So it was beneficial to have your work outsourced to a billing company where our rates were going to stay the same. You know, we weren't going to go do a whole price hike on you because, you know, unemployment is available now. So.
Yeah, that's right. That's a big problem for a lot of restaurants. I've seen restaurants close on Saturday and Sunday because they couldn't find enough help to come in and help, you know, take care of their customers. All right, so Tracie, I see behind you there on your wall our certificate. I'm going to show a picture of it here so people can see up close what that looks like. But there it is right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It says you are certified as a certified medical revenue manager. And that just means that the organization that we have do the training, MIRMA, is the one that actually certifies you. So you got, you know, the ability to tell people, yes, I'm with the nation's largest network of independent medical billing companies. I'm, you know, a rare handful of people out there that are certified as medical revenue managers. Why don't you kind of give people a feel for what is it that you do for doctors? What is medical billing compared to being a revenue manager?
Well, medical billing, you're just essentially saying that you're appending a code and you're submitting a claim over to the insurance company, and that's it. Revenue manager, you're telling the provider that you have researched that the code that they have selected is the most appropriate code to use, that you will be reimbursed at this amount. You're going to not only submit the claim when the payments come in, you're going to post those payments to the charts that they're supposed to be appended to. You're going to help the provider with creating patient invoices. You're going to help the provider with their agent reports. It's so much more that comes with being a revenue manager opposed to just being a medical biller. And that is what a lot of doctors' offices don't have. They have a biller, she or he knows how to submit a claim, but they don't know anything else. When you are a revenue manager, you understand the entire process that comes with revenue cycle management, from the time the patient calls until the patient is treated, until that claim has been paid and finalized. And so you assist the provider with that entire process. So that's the difference between a medical biller and a revenue cycle manager or a revenue manager. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a difference between you know, being a general practitioner and a brain surgeon, for example. You're more specialized if you're a brain surgeon. But as a revenue manager, you can say to the doctor, I'm here to help you with all aspects of your revenue. We're going to increase your revenue. Bottom line is it won't cost a dime to do business with me because I'm going to bring you more money than you've ever had brought in before. And that's because of our well, I think I'm showing it here on the screen. Am I? Yeah, there we go. That's basically our cloud-based system that has the practice management system, which is what does the billing. You do the billing here. This is for the doctor's use inside the office there. Him and the staff use their electronic medical records on our platform. And of course, we have the clearinghouse that's built into ours. Tracie, have you found that this clearinghouse, usually you can get your claims cleared almost 100%, can't you?
Yeah, most definitely. That's definitely a benefit. Having that claim scrubber is a benefit, most definitely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, claim scrubber. That's right. That's what we call it. It's built into the clearinghouse. So when you push the button inside of our system to submit a claim, folks, that basically is going through our clearinghouse because we established the company over 20 years ago as a clearinghouse itself. Then it evolved into a medical billing platform. So that's why we're so good at getting the claims cleared. Most people, and I don't know if you found this true or not, Tracie, but as you talk to doctors in your area, aren't a lot of them really have a big rejection rate on those initial claims that are submitted, aren't they? I mean,
oh yeah, most definitely.
30%, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, most definitely. And it's a lot of it, it's just that they don't have the subject matter expert working on their behalf. They just have anybody doing it. So that's why you hire a company such as mine, because We are the subject matter experts. That's what we say. We can help you to get paid and pay quickly.
If you can convince a doctor that you are legitimate enough as a company, as a person, that they want to do business with you, and that comes from a lot of different things, establishing that expertise in your field, in any given field in an area, that's a tough one if you don't have the right tools to do that. And of course, we provide our licensees with books with your name on the front cover and all kinds of stuff. So that helps, doesn't it?
Definitely.
One of the questions that has been asked here, Bob is saying, what is it like to actually talk with doctors in this environment? I guess he's talking about the whole pandemic COVID environment. What do you do to, are you doing any marketing right now? Tracie, I don't know how big your business is.
My website and word of mouth and referrals. That's the biggest marketing we're doing right now. My website is out there. We have people that we've done business with or that we're doing business with that's talking about us. And so we're getting those direct referrals. And some of the clients that it is that I service, I've never met them in person. We have only met by via phone or like using a Zoom platform like we're using now. We talk, we're able to find out what their pain points is, how they can benefit by using us. We get back on there. We give them our proposal. We negotiate at that time. We send them over a digital contract. They sign it, send it back to us, and we just get the rolling. So you don't have to be in person in order to do business with the doctor. I mean, you can do it. I mean, that's the world that we're in right now. It can be handled virtually.
That's amazing. When people first hear somebody say something like, I've never met some of my clients, they go, what? How could that possibly be? Well, you mean in person, of course. Like you said, with Zoom,
Correct.
it feels like we meet people face to face. And then with email and Dropbox and all that stuff, you can certainly share any contracts and documents and things that you need. So do you have some of your practices? Can you give us a feel? What kinds of doctors do you do billing for at this point?
Right now, we're more in the behavioral health industry. We also doing speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, still a little bit of pulmonologist, and then general practitioners. That's essentially what we're doing now. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, you just kind of, in other words, when you first signed up your first physical therapy, is that what you decided to do? Is just kind of be an expert in that area?
No, my first client was in pulmonologist, sleep medicine. And so I kind of like learned the field and I learned the ins and outs and how to, just be really great at it. And so then I started targeting more sleep providers. And then I started, I kind of expand out. Someone had reached out to me that was in general surgery, started doing general surgery. And then the speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy, I actually got in that field through credentialing. A big client had reached out. They needed credentialing services. We did a great job on their credentialing work. And they was like, listen, we really want to give up this headache with the billing. Would you be interested? And I was like, absolutely. And so we did it. And I was able to get them to give me some a good referral and go on my website and leave a nice review. And so when people start, visiting my website and they started seeing that traffic, they said, oh, she specializes in this, or they specialize in that. They reach out. We do, like I said, we have that initial conversation. We do the intake, then we send out a proposal, and it kind of goes from there.
I'm probably messing that up. It says, how much does it cost to learn billing and coding? Well, that's a interesting question, because you could spend several $1,000s going to colleges and taking courses in billing and coding. Tell us about your background, Tracie. Did you have any medical background at all?
I did have medical background. I did, but I came from the corporate side. And I did billing a long time ago, but I hadn't been doing it recently. And so I was more in the provider side. So I did have a background, but what ABS assisted me with, and which I loved, is that I didn't know business. I didn't know the first day how to market. I didn't know how to do a contract. I didn't know what to charge. I didn't know any of this. So who do you partner with? Like, what platforms I didn't have any of that. And so when I became an ABS licensee, I was more interested on how do I get in contact with, a technology company? How do I market? How do I price my services? What type of contract do I set up? And so me with ABS being able to give me that foundation, it made it a lot easier for me to kind of, transition to the billing and coding side and learn it a little bit more so that I can become the subject matter expert. So, yeah, I had no idea how to run a business. None.
Yeah, that's the great thing is we do take people from scratch basically and hold their hands through that whole process. And people watching this, Tracie, and hearing you and listening to you today, they've got to be just blown away the fact that you've got this office with several offices and you've hired contractors and you've got several clients. It's just amazing to think that you didn't have any real background in this business at all, except you were working in the doctor's offices themselves, I guess. So it's just fascinating that people can do that. Let me see if I can share this screen here. Did that put up the flyers, the different flyers?
Yeah, it did. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so folks, you can read more about these different services that you can offer through ABS on our website there, or ask your ABS rep to go into more detail about that. But Tracie, you said you were doing credentialing. That's one of the things that we do offer. I don't see a flyer on that, but that's because it's kind of one of those things that we offer through specialized partners. But is that, are there any other things there on the screen that you actually offer or have offered to doctors?
Yeah, so we, of course, I claim in EMRX. That's essentially it that I use. And then revenue cycle management, those three. Yep.
Yeah. We just added the virtual care. That's an interesting one to look at. If you've got doctors that have, especially Medicare, and some insurance companies pay for this too, it's called remote patient monitoring. And there's some big money that can be made by not just our licensees, but by the doctors themselves if they offer virtual care to patients that need ongoing patient monitoring. So that's a big moneymaker that's coming up. Okay, one of the questions was asked here: how many hours a day do you put into your business? Is this full time for you?
When I first started the business, I worked a whole lot. I probably worked harder than I've ever did, but that was because I'm a perfectionist and I like to over deliver. So I just work. I mean, I was always doing something. As I learned how to streamline my business and streamline my services and understand that time is money and money is time, I realized there was not a client out there that could afford to pay me 20 hours a day. So I need to cut back. And so to be honest with you, on average, I maybe work 3 to 4 hours a day. It's that. Fridays, I don't work at all. Fridays is my time to just do what I would like to do. So Monday through Thursday, about 3 to 4 hours. If we going through that period where we end up picking up a lot of clients at one time, my day may extend to an 8 to 10 hour day. But majority of the time, 3 to 4 hours a day. Yeah.
Yeah. I tell people when they get in the business for themselves, they can work any part-time hours they want, like from 12 to 12. That's part-time, and it's just daytime.
Yeah.
So part of Siobhan's question earlier was, how much does it cost to learn billing and coding? Actually, Siobhan, we have a licensing fee of $28,000 at this point. That would get you everything, including our live training modules. We do that live over Zoom with a one-on-one with an instructor. And then we have ongoing training, support, the website that she mentioned earlier, and just ongoing with no cost. After you've joined us, Tracie, have you paid us anything extra?
No.
Yeah. No, there's no hidden fees on the back end, then extra user seats or support fees or training fees or webinars. All that's provided by ABS just as a part of your licensing, isn't it?
Yes, most definitely.
Oh, and then he goes on to say, do you set up the doctors for the business owners? So this is a hard one to explain to people because the marketing is one of the hardest parts of any business. We'll admit that right up front, right? But it's
Yes.
also one of those things that we have developed tools like these books that you can put your name on the front cover. And so tell us, you said, of course, a lot of your business is coming now by referral, because once you've got some
Correct.
clients that are happy with you, they know other doctors that are not happy with their
Yeah.
revenue cycle management. And so
Mhm.
they refer to you, don't they? That's how you have clients you've
Correct.
never met.
Mhm.
Have you got clients in
That's
other
right.
states besides North
Oh
Carolina?
yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I've never just serviced clients in the state that I live in because I move quite frequently. So yeah, I have clients in all over. Definitely not just here in North Carolina. Yeah.
You know, I
Mhm.
don't know if I've ever told you this, Tracy, but we had a couple that had an RV a few years back, and
Yeah.
they traveled all over the
Yeah.
United States in that RV. You know, they had a satellite gizmo on top that would receive phone and internet, and yeah, they ran that business just driving around, visiting all over the place because they had clients, you know, in several states. And so, since
Wow.
you don't have to meet with people in person in this business. In fact, most of our licensees have never opened an office like you've got.
Correct. Correct. I just moved mine from out of my home into a different space. With me wanting to branch and make this business as big as I can make it. I needed a bigger space, and I wanted to kind of separate work from home, and so that's the main reason why I got a commercial space. Mhm.
I've got a couple that will tell you right out front. We didn't have to get an office, but we have 4 kids. So, yes, we got an office.
Yeah. They sound like me. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I don't blame them. That's a tough one dealing with kids in the background when you're trying to do business, isn't it? And dogs and other things. So, but
Yes.
most of our licensees, I'd say, guys, it's probably 80% at least, have never even thought about opening an office or hiring other people. They just love running this business, being able to make a 6-figure income if they want to with a
Yeah.
handful of clients. Here's another question, Anonymous. It says, is there any marketing provided from purchasing the franchise? Yes, we kind of touched on that just for a second there,
Mhm.
but we taught in your class that you went through, by the way, Tracy, you went through a live training. Let me show a picture of that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's me and my husband.
There you go. That was a few
Yep.
years back, but that was when we were
Yeah.
doing it live down here in the Dallas area. We would fly people in for a week, wasn't it a whole week?
Yeah. Yeah. It was nice too. Yep. Stay in the hotel, and the conference room or training room was right there in the lobby of the hotel, and you just go down and do your live training, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, you know,
nice area too.
even before the pandemic started in the late 2019, we had decided that we just wanted to go completely virtual. We're a virtual company anyway. We've got support people in California, Florida, I mean, all over the United States. And so we said, you know, why don't we just do the training virtually using Zoom, since it was becoming very popular out there. And so that's what we do now. So
Oh
everybody,
wow.
here's a training class. This may have been the one you were in, but that's basically what it looked like when we were holding
Mm-hmm.
the live
Yep.
trainings. Yeah. In fact, you see that lady at the front there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's Cynthia.
Yep.
She trained you,
That's
didn't
Cynthia.
she?
Yes, Cynthia and Bonnie training me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You
Mhm.
had both the
Yeah.
ladies up there. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, Cynthia is now doing the virtual training with us one-on-one with people. We do it through Zoom, of course. She's there on the
Mm-hmm.
left, you know, teaching the training and showing the slides and doing what we're doing right here, basically. And then you and your spouse or partner could be, you know, anywhere on any device
Mm-hmm.
watching the training from anywhere. There's 10 modules now, Tracy, that we take people through.
Wow.
And I started to say we got off on this, but anyway, we're talking about marketing. We teach about a dozen different ways to market this too.
Mm-hmm.
So when you
Yes.
left the training, you were probably going, okay, which one of these marketing methods am I going to use to start with? What did you begin with?
We begin with door to door. Yep. Just knocking on doors. We would look up the addresses, and then we would say, hey, we're going to hit this particular area. My husband took some leave, and we went out knocking on provider's door and leaving material and speaking with people. Yep.
Yeah. A lot of people like that. We teach you how to go in and just grab their business card, basically, maybe leave a piece of literature. You don't really have to engage with them at that point. All you want to do is just drop the hint and lay the groundwork, plant the seed that you're somebody that they might want to, look at, because you've got all these different services available to them.
Exactly. To be honest with you, I had a class here prior to getting on here for the Zoom this afternoon with a new client, and they found me through the website. But you know what led them to the website? When we first opened this office 6 years ago, we started, doing marketing, kind of like door-to-door, leaving literature, business cards. And she's like, let me go check out this company. Go there, and we still open, we still exist. And yeah, did an inquiry on the website through the contact form. And look, now they're a client. And
here, the licensee support site that we mentioned earlier that you have to have a login to get into. But folks, you can see we have templates, for different websites. So the question was asked here, what of them does ABS help with the website creation? Catherine, we don't just help with it. We give you a completed, ready to go website with your logo, your contact information. We set up the emails for you. We do everything to put you in business for yourself there. And so, that's a part of what we do for our licensees. Yeah. All right. Here's a question about, let's see. Amelia says word of mouth is after she has a few customers, but how did she go about getting those first customers?
Well, I'm not going to be honest with you, marketing is not my strong piece. I'm more so get them in front of me, I'll close the deal. My husband loves to talk to everybody, okay? He doesn't meet strangers. So he was actually dropping off some material. He goes in and something catches his eyes. Like he thought this sleep apnea machine was a radio. He was like, why they got all of these radios in here? And the lady comes out, she's like, these are not radios. And they just start having general conversation. And she said, well, by the way, the doctor is looking to get an EMR system. She's like, just leave me your card and stuff. I'll pass your information over to them. So he left his card, didn't think much of it. Like 2 or 3 days later, they called and they wanted to speak with Chris and spoke with Chris. And Chris set up a meeting where we did an intake on those guys. And then it kind of went from there. And it took them about 4 months to sign on the dotted line. So it wasn't just like we went in there and we just got them and they just decided to do business. It definitely took us doing some following up, them doing some due diligence on us and making sure that we were a legitimate company, that we can handle their business. And so it kind of went from there. Then once I got that client, I kind of went off the market like in its entirety for marketing, because I was just trying to be like, I was just trying to do the best job I can with my first client. And so we did that. Then I kind of went back out to marketing, and that client actually referred me over to someone else. And then it kind of just started taking over from there. And I was like, okay, I could kind of do this. And it went from there. Yeah. So we haven't, the first, 3 or 4 months is probably the most marketing we did, to be honest with you, as far as door to door. Other than that, we actually use quick cards. Do we still do that? Quick cards? Do we still offer that, Patrick?
Yeah, the auto card. Yeah.
Auto card. Yes, there you go. We use that. We use auto cards. We did with just leaving our material and word of mouth. I mean, in our website. I mean, if your website is what it's supposed to be, someone goes in there and they type in that keyword, you come up on one of those top 10 businesses, people will reach out to you. Make sure your website has all of your contact information there, showing, what it is that you do and what you can offer. Yeah. Yeah,
exactly. The slide I've got up here, I don't know if that's actually showing that slide right now or not. Is it with the red mark on there?
Yes, it is. Uh-huh.
Yeah, these are the training modules. And somebody asked the question here. I got this up here because as you were talking, I was reading this question from, it says Tasneem says, from the last webinar, they mentioned that hiring a medical sales rep would do all the marketing for you, so there'd be no need to go door to door. How come on today's webinar, she says going to door to door? So I'm just pointing out, folks, that when we take you through the training, we teach you a bunch of different ways to do that. And one of the ways you can see listed right here is direct contact. but that's not the only way. And some people like that and some people don't. So it's up to you. One of the other ways is marketing with sales reps. And as you can see, that's one of the things we teach as well. So it's all up to you. Every business owner does it differently, don't they?
Yeah. And you're your own business owner. ABS tell you you must do it this way or you must not do it that way. They give you a whole bunch of solutions, and it's up to you which solution you want to use.
Yeah, it's all up to you. That's a good way to put it. Well, here's a straightforward question. We better answer this one. It says, this is from Anonymous now again. How much money can you actually make with medical revenue management? So, we have a site, our website has a income calculator on it, Tracie, but can you give us a feel without telling us exactly how much you have in your bank account? What kind of money can be made in this business? Will it provide a full-time income for somebody?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I think in one of my first videos, I think I got my return on investment within a year after opening my business. So, I mean, that can kind of sum it up what type of money you can make. You definitely can make well into the six figures. How high or how low, it's going to depend on how big you want to grow it and what type of clients you decide to go after. If you want to go after more of a specialist, which they make a little bit more money, you can get a little bit more money back in return for them. Or you may just want to go with your general practitioner. And their reimbursement may be a little bit lower, but if you got several of them, you can make a lot of money.
Yeah, that's all up to the individual. Of course, we tell people if you're working part-time, you're not going to make as much as you would if you worked full-time, obviously, but there are people who have to work their full-time job and do this on the side to kind of get it started and built up. Yep. It takes a little longer, but once you do have a client or two, you're probably making more money than you were working that 40-hour job anyway.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see if I can show this slide. This is our website, which is at the bottom of the slide there, absystems.com. Up at the very top, there is income potential right there. And that will take you to this little calculator that lets you put in some numbers on your own to find out what kind of money can be made. Look, this is just one doctor that's seen an average number of patients per day. It says 27. 5 is the average number of days the office is open. You can change any of these numbers you want to, and they're only charging, looks like they're charging 7% of the average claim amount, which is about $100. And when you submit that, you'll see that you could be making, what is that, $49,000? Yeah, each year, servicing just one office with those kinds of numbers. Now, every doctor is going to be different. You're not going to make that much on some doctors. You'll make more on others. So,
yeah.
But it's there to be made for sure. Okay, let's see. Here's some other questions coming in. Oh, some of them are in the chat. Let me go back to my chat window here. Do you get much? This is from Wayne. He says, Tracie, do you get much pushback from the doctors' billing and coding personnel? Oh, okay. He's talking about if they're doing the billing in the office, do you get pushback from them, or do you even engage with the people who are doing the billing inside the office?
Well, in my experience, you kind of probably don't want to engage with those individuals because they're not the decision makers. You want to get directly to the decision maker and kind of tell them why it is they need to outsource their services over to you. But I will say this, I have had really great relationships with in-house billers when the doctor decided to outsource the billing over to us, because then they were then able to focus on something else within the practice. They didn't have to worry about the headache of dealing with the insurance company. And so now they have someone they can blame it on. So now they blame it on our company every time something goes wrong. And it made those ladies feel a lot better. So, I mean, you do, but to be honest with you, you're really trying to get to the decision maker. And that's the provider itself. That's the owner of the business. Because ultimately, that's going to be the person that's going to sign the contract. And that's going to be the person that's going to pay you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. You want to engage with the person who makes the decisions, and that's usually the doctor themselves, but sometimes with the help of the office manager, if they're a trusted office manager that's been there a while, they will let you engage with the doctor to whatever degree they want to. Now, remember, most office managers hate the fact that they have to oversee somebody to do the billing in the doctor's office. They'd rather get it outside the office if they could. They just don't know how to convince the doctor. Well, if they can introduce you to the doctor, you can convince them, can't you, Tracie?
Oh yeah, most definitely. You get in front of me, you're going to do business with me.
I love that about you. Well, look, here's a picture of some of our coaches. We refer to Tracie as part of our ABS coaching staff because she's helped out with a lot of other licensees. She does these webinars with us, like you're seeing here. These are some other real people that are our licensees from coast to coast, including Cynthia there in the upper left. But these are the people that we engage with. And folks, it's not like we as a company have to continue selling licenses. We make enough money on the back end from the services that you offer to the doctor. We make a few pennies on all those transactions, and that keeps us in business. That's why we don't have to charge any kind of ongoing fees of any kind to our licensees. But we do pay our coaches for their time in working with other brand new people like yourself to get them up to speed. So that's why we have to charge a licensing fee, because these folks, once they learn what they're doing, like Tracie does, they are very expensive.
Yeah.
Tracie can charge us anything she wants to, and sometimes that's higher than we want to pay, but it's a part of doing business, and it's a part of knowing and being the expert. You deserve to make money if you're an expert in anything. So, Tracie, I've asked you before if you're billing us for the time that you put in with us, talking with people and coaching, and but sometimes our licensees say, "Oh, I'm too busy to do that." We encourage you to do that because your time's worth something. We want to pay you for your time, so just send us an invoice.
Yep, I will. I'll send the invoice over.
Okay. Well, look, I've got just a few minutes left. Tracie, I'm going to look in here and see. There are a couple of other questions. Let's get those questions out of the way, and then I'll let you get back to making money on your own out there.
Okay, perfect.
Let's see. Okay. Oh, somebody's asking about that 7% that we just showed on the screen there in that example. Is 7% average? What's the current rate that Tracie might be negotiating with her clients? Can you give us a feel, an average of what you might be talking to doctors about percentage-wise?
It depends, because some clients, it depends on how much work is going to be involved. Some people just want you to submit the claim, and they don't want you to do invoicing. They don't want you to do pre-authorizations. They don't want you to do dealing directly with the patient. Some, they want to send everything over to you. So if they're sending all the work over to you, from the pre-authorization to the invoicing to actually answering patient questions, that percentage can go up pretty high. So it just really depends on the client and how involved you're going to be with their medical billing process.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And I've seen people start out as low as 5% or 4% even in one case. And of course, we told them that that's a mistake, because the first time you offer one doctor a low rate like that, guess what? If he refers somebody else to you, then that doctor's going to want the exact same rate. I mean, you can have them swear on a stack of Bibles, "I am not going to tell another doctor that you gave me this good rate." They will.
Correct. They sure will.
And then you're kind of stuck there. I mean, you can tell the doctor, "Well, look, that was a special thing with this doctor, blah, blah, blah." And what they'll end up doing is saying, "Fine, if you can do it for 4%, I'll let you do it." So you don't want to go in too low. And that's just a lesson you learn early on.
Yeah, you do.
Or can I use this franchise to do billing for providers internationally apart from just the USA? Well, as far as I know, our billing system here in the United States is pretty unique. With Medicare and the individual insurance companies, I don't think you can do billing for any doctors outside the US system. That's just, unless something's happened overnight that I didn't know about. But you could certainly do the billing from another country if you wanted to, as long as you've got an internet connection and the phone. You can certainly do business anywhere in the world with doctors that are actually billing insurance companies and Medicare here in the United States. Okay, well, hey, I think I covered all the questions that came in. Anything you want to share, Tracie, just with people who are thinking about getting into the business? Anything about ABS or something about me and my, past history in prison that you want to share?
I would just say that that you guys offer very great products. I mean, if you really want to get into this business and you're looking to partner with a legitimate company, these guys have been around. They was around long before I became a licensee, and they're still here. Since I've been on board as a licensee, they have definitely, I'm like looking at the website and I'm looking at some of your slides. I'm like, we didn't have that. I mean, you guys have definitely rolled out some more things and you kind of like updated, and you're staying like relevant with today's market. So the package looked like it did 8 years ago. It's actually reflective of 2021. And that's who you want to do business with. Someone that's going to stay up to date with the market. So you offer it, and then look at me. I paid a different amount than what these guys are going to pay, but I still get access to everything new that you roll out. So, I mean, you can't beat that. I am a successful business owner. I do not have to call these guys as much as you. I'm going to be honest. I hardly visit the website because I found what works for my business. But let's say that I did need some assistance, or a client mentioned a particular service to me, and I'm like, I bet you I can go on the ABS website and I can be able to get literature and be able to then answer my client back intelligently and say, yes, this is what's going on. So ABS is legit. They're real. And if you want to become an ABS licensee, don't hesitate. Go ahead and sign up.
Now, Tracie, thank you for that. Are you on our reference list? Can people call you?
Yes, I do take reference calls. Yep.
Super. Okay. Well, folks, you heard it from her own mouth. Call her. But we're not going to give out a phone number here today. You have to get back with your ABS rep and ask them for our list. We give that only to people who are serious about getting into our business, because we don't want them taking up Tracie's time and other people's time. There's probably a dozen people on that list now. So Tracie, thank you for taking those calls. If you want to ask her some questions directly and didn't get to ask her today, then ask your ABS rep, the person who sent you the email inviting you to this webinar. And I'll show you a phone number here in just a second. If you don't know who that is, you can call and ask us. Tracie, thank you for your time. Thank you so much. You're just a wonderful sharing person, and you've done such a great thing building your business. I'm so proud of you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have a great one.
Okay, bye-bye.